Okay, here I am. So let's talk about improving immunity and improving lung health, and that is important in terms of holistic aspect, Ayurvedic aspect. We want to talk about 2 or 3 tips here that I can absolutely recommend you, so that you can start incorporating that as much as possible, and that way it can help you first in prevention and also protecting your lung health and improving the immunity. So let's talk about first thing is eucalyptus oil. And hi, Zina, thank you so much for joining. I'm talking about the tips here to protect for the coronavirus or any respiratory kind of imbalance, and also mainly also improving your lung health and improving your immunity. So let's talk about that as we go into the first thing. First is absolutely eucalyptus oil. Eucalyptus oil, I'm not talking about essential oil, okay? I'm not talking about essential oil. Essential oil is strong, okay? And that's why you can't apply it directly on the skin because it has to be diluted. It has to be diluted. So I would recommend plain eucalyptus oil, and that you can, literally put a drop on your handkerchief, on your, basically, I'll prefer even in the morning. What I do, if you are asking, I practice this, I do this myself, and that's why I teach everything, or I recommend everything that I do myself. So what I do is I just take a couple of drops, and then you can apply on the sinus area. You can also apply on the forehead area. You can apply on this right and left temporal area. And then you can also take this, eucalyptus, apply a little bit on the throat and little bit on the chest. And that is so helpful, because understand that eucalyptus oil or any strong smell in that sense is really where the virus don't want to really, be in presence of. So importantly, virus actually do not come in the area of strong smells, and eucalyptus being excellent for sinus and lung health, respiratory health, it is important to use eucalyptus oil. Okay, so again, I'm repeating here that everyone knows the basic measure of hand wash, making sure you're protected from sneezes and coughs, and not to travel unnecessarily, not to go into the crowded place unnecessarily. All those measures are absolutely, we all know. But beyond that, I'm trying to explain you how to take care of your health preventive way and also in protective way in terms of your lung health and respiratory disease in Ayurvedic healing. And that is important for you to know. That first tip I'm talking about is to use plain eucalyptus oil. Okay, plain eucalyptus oil. I always carry this generally also as a seasonal allergy issues, or if you are going and you are exposed to cold and wind, this is so helpful, and you can easily buy it. And you know what, right now there will be such shopping for mask and what you call hand sanitizers, and all those things are going to run out, right? But I'm talking about how to zag when everyone is zigging. That's how one of my mentors says that. So everyone is going through this all basic stuff, and everyone is going through hand sanitizers and wipes and basically mask. Let's talk about how to zag and go deeper with the herbal aspect and support that you can develop for your health. And eucalyptus oil is always so good to carry at home for respiratory issues, for pollen, seasonal allergy, all of those things. But importantly, virus don't stay when there is a strong smell, and eucalyptus being the best because it helps lung health, it helps sinuses, and it helps respiratory health, and it is so wonderful. But use plain eucalyptus oil. Do not use essential oil. Essential oil is strong. You cannot apply directly on the skin, and it has to be diluted. So tip number 1, eucalyptus oil. Okay. Number two, we are all going into, obviously, again, as I say, common basic protective measures. But second important thing we want to think, I keep saying that, guys, for lung health and respiratory take, in Ayurvedic aspect, it is Vata and Kapha, and both dosha need warm. So importantly, keep sipping warm beverages, warm herbal tea, warm water. I always carry warm water on my desk. So make sure for lung health, respiratory health, and immunity boosting also, keep drinking warm water, warm beverages, and herbal tea. That is so, so important. Warm absolutely protects lungs. Warm absolutely protects respiratory health, because it's a vata kapha dosha imbalance, and that is why it is important to include warm, and even food should be warm. And make sure, and I'll come back to that basic aspect of food and lifestyle practices, but right now I'm talking about warm beverages, warm water, warm herbal tea for lung health and sinus and respiratory health. So first we talked about eucalyptus oil. Second, we talked about absolutely warm water. Now the third thing I want to talk about, there is a one beautiful herb compound that you should definitely consider, and it is called Sitopaladi. Sitopaladi. And I'm going to write the spelling here. Sitopaladi. Sitopaladi. Sitopaladi has been proven for thousands of years. It is a compound. It is absolutely safe. We give it for children also. Every time when there is a lung health issue, respiratory health issue, there was before that swine flu and fever and all those respiratory conditions that children are also exposed to. And now the coronavirus. For lung health, absolutely standalone is the herbal compound which is called Sitopaladi. I do have the bottle here, and it is called Sitopaladi Churna. And if you can see that here, let me adjust the camera, Sitopa, can I take it further? Yeah, that's better. So Sitopaladi Churna means powder. So this is the herbal compound, Sitopaladi Churna, extremely good for lung health, respiratory tract, and absolutely helpful for protecting, lungs, respiratory health, and really any kind of, lung health challenges. And it has simple foods like, really cardamom, really, what you call cardamom. Then there is called bamboo leaves, which are absolutely natural stuff that they have. And this is just 4 compounds that they have here. And I want to also explain you here, which is long pepper, cardamom, cinnamon, and absolutely, we call bamboo Vangshalochan herb in Ayurveda. And these are 4 herbs that are actually helpful, that are combined together. They're foods, cardamom, cinnamon, and absolutely, what I just said is long pepper is a form of black pepper. So black pepper in a therapeutic aspect of different variety is called Piper longum. So Piper longum is a therapeutic pepper, okay? Therapeutic black pepper. And black pepper that we use is a food of obviously the spice. So this is the 4 things that are together, and it is called Sitopaladi. So if you want, Tonya, you can really type that Sitopaladi, Sitopaladi. So Sitopaladi herb is the absolutely compound that you can take half teaspoon in the morning, half teaspoon in the evening, or just half teaspoon in the morning, either with warm water or just honey. So yeah, okay, so that is why it is very helpful. So I talked about 3 things right now. Simple, right? Eucalyptus oil, so that you can put also this oil drops on your pillow, drops on your car seat, drops on your really, the handkerchief that you will be carrying. You can put these drops on nasal area, forehead, throat, sinuses, and also lung health. Very helpful, guys, very helpful. So eucalyptus oil, you can also put a drop in a warm water and steam inhalation. Oh, that is another thing I want to talk about for lung health. Steam inhalation, we all know, is so powerful, guys. We all know these simple tips. We don't remember, especially when we want it, basically. And these are simple practices, which are old age practices. We know our grandparents actually recommended, our parents recommended, and that is why Ayurveda is a holistic medical aspect of health, which is integrative healthcare, which is 5,000 years in practice, is a mainstream medicine in India. And I want to re-emphasize these are simple things that we know, that steam inhalation, and especially if you put a drop of eucalyptus oil in the water, and that steam inhalation with eucalyptus water basically is so helpful. And I highly recommend you all to first consider eucalyptus oil. Okay, so eucalyptus oil, plain, not essential oil. One, to put on forehead, nasal area, externally, guys, externally. Put on, sinuses, put on the throat, and put on the chest. And it's not just about coronavirus. It's not just about respiratory aspect of health. It is not about lung health only, but it is also seasonal allergy. It is also when you go out in the winds, and if you have irritating aspect of, cold or anything, eucalyptus oil is standalone, very helpful for lung health. And that is why make sure that you carry plain eucalyptus oil, not essential oil. It is strong, it cannot be applied on the skin directly, the essential oil. So plain eucalyptus oil is the number one thing you should be having in your home. I'll repeat the basic information we have: hand wipes, wash, wipes, disinfectants, all of those things, not getting to the crowd, not traveling. Good. But as I'm explaining you, we want to go deeper, and everyone is zigging, we zag. Everyone is zigging, we zag. That means we develop more care, we develop more protection, we develop more natural self-love and self-caring practices. And that way you can always be a step ahead in helping your own health, your immunity, and currently respiratory and lung health we are talking about, right? So importantly, eucalyptus oil. Second thing I told you all, warm water, warm foods, but warm water I'm talking about, because for lung health, respiratory health, warm things are extremely helpful. So make sure that absolutely that you have warm beverages, warm water, warm herbal tea, and warm foods, obviously, but keep sipping warm water. Warm is good for lung, warm is good for respiratory health, warm is good for sinuses, and warm is generally good for even stress and panics. Everywhere there is panic right now. So importantly, we want to make sure it's a vata energy. We want to protect ourselves with warm water, and that is why warm water I talked about second. The third I talk about is the churna, the powder, which is called Sitopaladi. Okay, I want to take it a little bit closer. There I am, Sitopaladi. I'm not talking about specifically this pharmacy, because this is from India. We get it from everywhere here in America as well. So Sitopaladi, Sitopaladi powder churna. It says useful for kapha, but it is actually good for lung health and respiratory health. And this is cinnamon, cardamom, right? And cinnamon, cardamom, bamboo leaves, and absolutely long pepper, which is the therapeutic black pepper. So this is the powder, half teaspoon in morning or evening, or just half teaspoon or 1 teaspoon in the morning. Better with honey, but if not, you can also take with warm water. So that is the third one. I always do that. I take it. I have my small bowl here. If you see, I put my powder, I put warm water. This is how I protect myself. So please understand, I'm using eucalyptus oil. Please understand, I'm using this Sitopaladi churna, right? Please understand, I'm always drinking warm water, okay? So importantly, you need to understand these tips are very powerful. These tips are absolutely profound. These tips are simple, and these tips are powerful remedies to immune system, to protect your lung health, to protect your health, and literally stay away and not be absolutely in panic with coronavirus or any kind of virus or any kind of, in that sense, respiratory or lung health issue. I hope this is helpful, guys, and I just want to make sure that, yeah. So very importantly, 3 tips I gave you. One is eucalyptus oil, second is warm beverages, and third is Sitopaladi powder. So make sure you are using these 3 things. Now beyond that, we talked about steam inhalation, which should be with eucalyptus oil. If you add that, it's going to only enhance your lung health. Okay, and then final tip. So we talked about 3 things, right? Now 4th thing we want to talk about is lifestyle practices, and obviously stress management, lifestyle practices and stress management. And that we all know that we should not be panicking, we should be making sure we are at home, we are not unnecessarily getting exposed in the crowds and travel, all those aspects. But rest, sleep is important. So make sure you go to bed at 10 p.m. and by 5 or 6 you wake up. So sleep, stress management, those are important things. You are aware about that. I'm just reminding you, I don't have to go detail about that. That is a very, very simple understanding that one has to manage sleep better when body gets time to heal, and take time, resting and making sure you are taking care of your health in the sleep and food practices, which I would suggest, and I'm going to emphasize this again and again and again in the tribe, that food should be homemade food, guys. As your Ayurveda doctor, as your healer, as your, guiding you in your best holistic health and, prevention, and also making sure you are protecting yourself and reversing your health challenges, I cannot emphasize you about home cooked foods. Okay, and I don't want any excuse about that. Okay, I don't have time, I'm busy, I can't grocery shop, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't. So for along 26 years that I'm helping people and empowering people to really reverse chronic fatigue, pain, medication, supplementation, chronic imbalances, all of those aspects. As being Ayurveda doctor, I always emphasize home cooked foods. And how can you actually do that practice without saying I can't, is that instead of putting attention to what you can't, put attention to what you can. Instead of putting attention to what you can't, put attention to what you can. What do I mean by that? Means you should at least have one meal homemade meal. One meal homemade meal. So if you're out in the day, whether it's your work, your grocery shopping, whatever, and you're not able to do your home cooked foods, you can at least do your evening home cooked food. So 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, when I come from my office, I make sure that I have at least half an hour that I cook the food, so dinner is home cooked. And usually when you have the home cooked foods, you usually have morning leftover, and you can also be supported in that sense for your lunch box. That's one thing. But importantly, at least one time you should have home cooked food. If not, make sure that you are having, obviously 3 times, 5 times in a week home cooked foods. And I cannot emphasize, there might be organic foods outside, there might be vegan food restaurants, there might be healthiest of the options on the soups and organic fruits and foods and all these meal options and grocery options that you might want to go and try outside food. I again want to emphasize that instead of saying I can't do, please put attention to what you can do, and please make sure homemade foods boost your health, boost your immunity, boost your absolutely essence of the health we call ojasa in Ayurveda by so profoundly that it itself in stand alone one tool that you can really protect not only just lung health, but your every health concern can be literally reduced potentially by 50% if you just have home cooked foods. I cannot emphasize that, guys. Please, I want to make sure you understand this very clearly, that you want to eat home cooked foods no matter what. It can be soups, it can be wraps, it can be it can be literally, I won't call salad as a home cooked food, because first of all, absolutely salads, after you bring the greens and make a salad dressing and you say now I'm making home cooked food, really you have to understand that salads don't support you all the time in the best health, because it is raw food, and because you feel it's a nutrient, you feel it's a fiber, you feel, but in Ayurvedic aspect it's cold, it's raw, it's dry, and absolutely you will not know, but this is the also cause for anxiety, sleep patterns, and I'm going to talk about salads and its health relation in holistic way Ayurvedic aspect in a different episode here. So please understand, home cooked foods can be rice, dals, lentils, rice, basmati rice, guys, basmati rice. Some of you may not be able to eat rice because some people say, oh, we are low carb food, or we are not able to do rice. So you can absolutely try other grains. Other grains are fine. So whatever grains you actually are suitable for, grains, vegetables, steamed, cooked, in curry sauce, vegetables. And third is basically you can obviously have any kind of warm we make flat bread called chapati bread, so you can make the chapati bread. But if you don't want to go a little complex there, just make sure you have whole wheat flat bread, and you can make wraps and you can warm those. And pancakes, warm pancakes out of rice flour, whole wheat flour. You can make savory, you can put spinach, you can put some grated vegetables, you can put some savory spices and make those pancakes. And you can even roll the pancakes with some of the filling. There are tons of ideas when you can make your own home cooked food in 30 minutes. Doesn't have to be gourmet cooking. So usually what do? I'm making 3 to 5 times of vegetables in a week. I'm making at least some chickpeas or something like that once in a 15 days. We do not recommend beans all the time because beans are gassy. So many times when you go in vegetarian food, you're trying to actually have beans as a protein, but they are gassy. So you want to make sure you include dals, lentils, and not beans. And that is how you want to make sure that you are having lentils, vegetables, rice, if not rice, whatever grains you can cook at home. And if you are in animal proteins, and please understand, Ayurveda is about medical health in terms of integrative health, as I keep saying in Western world. That's why it does not say that you have to be vegetarian, because it is for depletion, you need animal proteins, right? And that is why yoga science is obviously science of inviting divinity and more spiritual aspect. That's where you want to be more vegetarian. And from health perspective, vegetarian is always better option. As we all know, for even mental health, vegetarian option is better. And that's another dialogue that I will be having. But if you really require animal proteins, if you want to definitely include animal proteins, poultry and fish is recommended. And that way you can have that cooked, warm, as much as I am saying. I'm not necessarily, all the time sushi, which is a raw food, right? So we want to make sure, we want to understand this on Ayurvedic or holistic concept of the foods. But coming back to, and I'm going to keep it more easy and simple, that home cooked foods are important. And please put attention to what you can do, and don't put attention to what you can't do. Because when you say you can't do, you are actually going after excuses after excuses after excuses. I don't have time, I'm busy taking my kids to activities, I'm going for meetings, I'm in a corporate world, I'm traveling, I'm hopping hotel to hotel, I can't do home cooked foods. And that is, for me, is excuse. Okay? And that is why we want to make sure, when you go into I can't, that means you're finding excuse, but you want to what I can. And that means if you are home and 3 times in a week, 5 times in a week, if you're traveling, if you're in a corporate jobs, if you're hotel to hotel, if you are really can't do things because of your commitments. I get it. You have commitments, you have responsibilities, you have support to offer to your family, you are caregiver, maybe you are into your absolutely deadlines and time frames of corporate aspect of the job. I get it. And when I'm saying, I'm not saying it is an excuse means it is not true. What I'm saying is you can guys, for 2 or 3 times in a week, do home cooked foods. And that's simple what I'm saying. And if you do 2 or 3 times of home cooked foods, you can boost your health and immunity by 50% potentially, right? Just with the home cooked foods. I cannot tell you that, emphasize you enough. So coming back to our dialogue, as we discussed about eucalyptus oil for lung health, we discussed its uses. And I want to repeat, apart from applying externally, I want to repeat, apart from your handkerchief, put it onto pillows, put it on your shirt, put it on your couple of drops on your desk and wherever you are sitting on the chair, put couple of drops in a car seat, and that is so helpful. Eucalyptus oil, a drop of steam inhalation is extremely helpful for lung health and immunity. So that is one. Second, we discussed about warm water, warm beverages. Warmth is always good for respiratory health, lung health, sinus health. So we discussed that. The third thing we discussed is about Sitopaladi Churna. Sitopaladi Churna is about the four components: cardamom, cinnamon, bamboo, and also long pepper, which is a therapeutic black pepper. Half teaspoon or 1 teaspoon in the morning with honey or warm water. Excellent for lung health. No matter just with coronavirus, but any virus, any lung infection, this is extremely helpful as integrative healthcare. And this is safe for children. This is safe for adults. This is safe for everyone. This is simply food, and that is why it is a absolutely standalone, wonderful, compound for lung health. Has been there around for thousands of years, always been there in the medical practice and Ayurvedic medicine. Make sure that is extremely helpful for lung health and immunity. So that is what we discussed. Third, the fourth, we discussed about stress management, sleep and rest. Stress management, sleep and rest. And finally, we discussed about cooking food at home for immunity boosting. Absolutely, I cannot tell you how important it is. And if you can use more whole spices like black pepper, cardamom, cinnamon, bay leaf, all those things, if you use whole in soups or in broths or warm water, extremely good for lung health, extremely good for lung health. And that is why whole spices are you can use basically in cooking. And finally, after that, I'm going to give you one important herb that is standalone helpful for immunity booster, 1500 times effective than vitamin C, 1500 times absolutely effective than orange juice, 1500 times absorption in your intestine. And that herb is called amla gooseberry. Amla gooseberry is a standalone herb for the best immunity one can have, and longevity. And that's why amla, AMLA, amla or gooseberry is excellent for lung health, excellent for digestion, excellent for retaining your youth, excellent for immunity. Vitamin C, 1500 times more from vitamin C, 1500 times more than orange juice, 1500 more times effective for respiratory health, 15 times more effective for immunity. And it is extremely beautiful for immunity. It is extremely beautiful for cardiac health. It is extremely beautiful for skin. It is absolutely wonderful for retaining your youth. Gooseberry amla, which actually comes in the form of jam called chavan prash. And I hope Tonya can put that spelling there, chavan prash, CHYAN, chavan prash. Prash means jam, PRASH. Chavan was the sage who actually made this absolutely recipe of the jam, and that is what is called chavana. Chavana is a sage who bring this compound or the recipe as a jam of gooseberry, which is amla, and that amla jam, prasha means jam. So chavan prasha, Tonya, if you can put that in your in the spelling, CHYAN, which is a sage, chavana, who make this compound, prasha, 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 which is a jam. And that jam, 1 teaspoon, if you take it in the morning with warm water, it already has honey. You can lick it, you can put it on the obviously your whole wheat bread or whatever, like a toast. Absolutely, I cannot emphasize how important and how helpful that jam is for entire immune system. But lung health, it is the important herb for protecting your lung against any conditions in terms of viruses, infection, sinus issues, allergy issues. Chavan prash is for everyone, for kids, for children, for even cancer patients, by the way, even for caregiving, and also for every person, adult, children, woman health. That jam and gooseberry is extremely longevity herb that is helpful in so many ways I cannot emphasize. So that is the final dialogue I want to have with all of you. We have completed our Thursday weekly TV show, which was not announced really. Just I came live to explain that my travel was cancelled, so I can be with all of you. And that is why it is important to understand these are the absolutely deeper and holistic Ayurvedic tips to boost your lung health, to protect from coronavirus, to make sure your lung health and your immunity is best. Everyone is making sure that they are washing hands, they are using mask, they're after disinfectants, all of those to stop the travel, not go to the crowd places. Yes. But today's dialogue is when everyone is zigging, we are zagging. That means we are going deeper in terms of understanding, empowering your own natural healing process, natural healing path, that you can boost your immune system, you can improve your health, you can improve your diet, absolutely lung health. And all the tips here are shared here are profound, powerful, proven. Profound, powerful, and proven. Very simple, easy, inexpensive. Easy and inexpensive. I'm carrying this in my home. I'm using this at my home every day. That's what I recommend my clients for 26 years who have been absolutely successful reversing their chronic imbalance with all the support that we provide as Ayurveda doctor, Ayurveda medicine and healing, as integrative approach to healthcare. But these are profound, powerful tips for coronavirus protection. So I hope you make sure you dive in into Ayurvedic healing. Embrace these tools, and finally my dialogue was to make sure home cooked foods is what you embrace. Okay, so I want to again repeat, finally, eucalyptus oil, plain eucalyptus oil, applying externally, steam inhalation, putting on handkerchief, putting on chair, putting on the desk, putting on your pillows, putting in the car seat, absolutely helpful. Very helpful for children, very helpful for adult, everyone externally. So viruses don't stay when there is a strong stimulation of the smell, and eucalyptus is absolutely helpful for lung health and respiratory disease, especially respiratory health. One. Second important thing, warm beverages, warm tea, warm water, because lung health is vata kapha, guys, and that is why it is important to protect yourself with warm food. And that is second tip I shared with all of you. The third tip I shared about you is Sitopladi. Sitopladi powder, which is again cardamom, cinnamon, bamboo, and long pepper, which is the therapeutic black pepper. And that is half teaspoon morning, half teaspoon evening, if not at least 1 teaspoon in the morning with warm water. Absolutely great standalone herbal compound for and immunity health for lungs, especially specific to respiratory imbalance or respiratory health. Fourth, we discussed about stress and sleep management. That is important. And fifth, we discussed about home cooked foods that 50% beyond, put your immune system at best as potentially, and that is why your I can't list of not doing home cooking should be changed into I can, whether it's 3 times or 5 times in a week. I want to do home cooking, and that is important as much as for lung health and entirely whole body health and immune system. And finally, I discussed is that we have to understand this jam, which is the gooseberry jam of Chavan Prasha is a gooseberry jam, which is absolutely, Chavana is the sage, Prasha is the jam. It is a absolutely recipe that was made with gooseberry, good for digestion, good for respiratory all the time, because amla gooseberry is the best for respiratory health. It is 1500 times more than vitamin C, 1500 times more absorption than orange juice. It is extremely helpful for longevity. It is extremely helpful for heart disease, heart condition, and that is why generally amla gooseberry longevity herb is so helpful for lung health, respiratory health, and that is why 1 teaspoon of jam every day on the toast or licking it is so helpful. And these are simple tips that I'm sharing. These are absolutely simple tips, profound, powerful, proven. Okay, and making sure these are easy. You carry that at home. Protect yourself, protect your children, protect your loved ones, protect your family, and make sure you go deeper in improving your immunity, your respiratory health, your absolutely, self-care practices, along with all the basic, recommendations we all know about hand washing and stress management and not going in the crowds and not traveling. So I hope this is helpful. Very simple. Carry this at home. Please follow this important, understanding, and that is going to help you long way in protecting with coronavirus, as well as any respiratory imbalance that you might want to absolutely protect yourself from, and also your children, your family, your loved ones. Very easy, gentle, proven, no side effects, guys. No side effects. Anytime you take anti-allergic medicine, you feel so drowsy. no side effects on any of these herbs. And that is why I want to come back to you, repeating my earlier message that this tribe, as much as we are developing specific resources, specific support, specific help to all this wonderful tribe here, this is Ayurveda, guys. This is Ayurveda, which is the holistic healing, 5,000 years proven system, medicine in India or Eastern countries, integrative healthcare in Western country. But Tonya, my team, and I want to circle back and be a specific on this messaging to all of you that I am Ayurveda doctor, a doctor of Ayurveda medicine. I want to support you, help you in the best natural approach of healthcare, as I have been supporting 26 years to my clients, and I want to help you, support you, win this tribe, giving you resources, directions, guidance as doctor of Ayurveda medicine, as an integrative approach to healthcare. So hope this is helpful. We will continue our dialogue. This was Thursday Live, my weekly TV show. Today we discuss protecting from coronavirus, making sure you develop your immunity for lung health and total immunity for your complete health management. And this is the dialogue which was important, necessary, wanted to share with all of you. And I have always already explained you the schedule that March 26th, we are talking about pain without pills, healing pain without pills, noon to 1. So tune in, guys. And then we have April 2nd, hands-on head massage. And the benefits I will be sharing are profound. So hope you are joining me on those 2 Thursdays also, 26th and April 2nd. We are continuing our Thursday TV weekly live show with specific help, resources, support, guidance to all of you in Ayurvedic healing. And as we continue, we will bringing the more workshops for all of you. And absolutely protect yourself, go deeper, empower yourself with natural healing, and uncover your own healing powers which are profoundly within you. So thank you so much. Namaste. I'm Dr. Lina Thakar, Ayurveda doctor, speaker and author. I have authored 5 books, including 1 international bestseller. I am here to support you in this tribe, and our tribe is growing. I'm welcoming to new family, my love to current family members, and we connect again soon on this dialogue as we support continuously on rebuilding our health in prevention as well as reversal of chronic imbalances, fatigue. And finally, my dialogue is take care of yourself and please put attention to not what I can't, but put attention to what I can. Put attention to what I can, and you can do so much profoundly to protect your health and your loved ones to be longer on this planet. And that way you can abundantly enjoy the purpose of your life and basically the goals you want to achieve. Thank you so much. Namaste.